Hello! I just wanted to do a quick video about Ubuntu MATE 1804 because I think it's really neat. And this is the first time I've used MATE before. I know it's been around for quite a while and didn't really realize what it was until I came across a video. So I figured I'd pay it forward and describe my setup of it on my Lenovo P50 laptop. So this is not a virtual box, it's my actual machine. It is a 4-core, I guess a i7 2.7 gigahertz machine. It's pretty beefy for a laptop. It's got 64 gigs of RAM. Before I ran MATE, I was actually running Ubuntu, which was quite good as well, but it's not quite as polished as Ubuntu MATE was. I tried plain Ubuntu 1804, which has GNOME 3, and I'm just not a fan of the sort of limited configurability of the setup. And I was really happy to happen upon this. Ubuntu MATE folks have a Patreon setup, which I'll link in the description below. I contribute to it. I hope everybody who uses it or gives it a thought anyway to contribute to, because it's really they're quite nice people, and they're very positive. It's a nice project. So in any case, I'm running this in the familiar panel style, and when I say panel style, what I mean is that you can go to the control center here, which is quite nice. It's got all the stuff you need to configure your machine, your hardware and stuff. But one of the nicest things it has is this MATE tweak tool, which lets you choose a panel style, and you can make it look like Unity and look like Windows and look like GNOME 3 and whatever, look like Mac OS. I think familiar is what it comes with, although I'm not entirely sure. In any case, familiar just means where the panels are located, like this bottom dock and the top bar. I also have one of the really nice things about this distribution is that it lets you use compiz, which GNOME 3, or at least Ubuntu GNOME 3 doesn't let you do. It has I forget the name of the compositor in there. It does have a built-in compositor, but it's not configurable. This lets you either use the Marco window manager, which either has no compositor or lets you use Compton, or you can use Compiz, which is really good because I play Steam games on here, and Steam games don't really run as quickly as they could if there's compositing enabled at all. So when I want to play a Steam game, just for example, I'll go to this. It will hopefully not crash my OBS. Yes, it worked. Then I don't have a compositor. I can go into here. I can go Borderlands, baby, and it will, with any luck, start to launch Borderlands. Yep. So in any case, yeah, Borderlands. That's really nice to just be able to shut off all the compositing. The reason I have any compositing at all is basically for one single reason. Now, I have wobbly windows, fine, just fine. I just like the wobbly windows. But really, what I like to be able to do is when I move a window, I like to be able to see what's behind it, and that's something that I think Ubuntu had a feature like, yeah, it had that feature in its built-in compositor. But the compositor in GNOME 3 didn't appear to have it, and I couldn't find a way to make Compton do it. It may be possible, but in Compiz it's really easy. You just turn on turn down the opacity on the window move, and that's really nice. So that's really the only reason I use Compiz. I have some other stuff. I think I mapped like one of these cover flow things to it or something, but I don't really use that alt tab feature too much. But it's really nice. One of the other things that I really like about it over GNOME 3, or like about Mate over GNOME 3, is that all this stuff up here, I mean, if you right click on the top bar in GNOME 3, you're out of luck. There's really nothing to do there. You have to mess around with desktop files and everything in order to get stuff installed. And I guess I kind of get it. It's probably a feature more for enterprise stuff where they don't want people messing around with the desktop too much, so they lock it down a little bit. Of course, I'm not an enterprise user. I just have this on my laptop, and you know, I can go add some. I can add to the panel just like old style GNOME 2 or Ubuntu, and I can add a brightness applet. You know, oops, I meant to add the brightness applet. Yes, whatever the brightness applet is. I wonder if it works. It appears to work, yes, but only on my laptop screen. So yeah, but there's all kinds of stuff in here. This is just your normal GNOME 2 style stuff. I'm ashamed to say that I'm not even. I'm pretty sure that there's a fork of GNOME 2 Mate, but I'm not entirely sure. It would surprise me if it wasn't, but it may be from scratch. I'm so uncurious. I really should know that, but I really don't know. I don't really care because it just kind of does what I want it to do, which is great. So I'm just going to go over. I'm not going to go over all the features of. You know, there's tons of other videos about Ubuntu Mate online. You know, the kinds of themes it has and all that stuff. I will say that the theme it comes with these green bars is not in the sort of green stuff over here is not my favorite, and I haven't really found. I'd rather that it looked like stock Ubuntu, and I'm sure there's a way for me to make it look that way. It's just I haven't spent the time to get the right theme installed. So eventually I'll do that. But these green bars are just a little over the top, you know, sort of. But it was totally minor issue. I mean, given how great everything else is. So just to show you what you know, the way I use this. Of course, this is on real hardware. I can't really show you how it boots or anything. Oh, one thing I should mention on this particular laptop. This is so ironic. This thing works wonderfully. I mean, it is one of the really, like, if you install it on a you know, like sort of last gen laptop, it's probably going to work. Everything's probably going to work more or less. You know, who knows, right? But I mean, in all likelihood, most things are going to work. You might have to mess around with something. Like I have pretty you know, big setup here. I have 3 monitors. I have an external sound card. I got a USB hub with a couple USB discs in it, etc. And all of it worked out of the box, except one thing, which is really interesting. When I burned a CD, external CD thing. I didn't. For whatever reason, I didn't burn a flash disk. You could do that as well, but I burned a CD or DVD in order to install this to my real hardware. And when it boots, it just freezes up. And the reason for that is that this laptop has this god-awful NVIDIA Optimus setup, which I hope they kill it quickly. I hope it dies a certain death, because what it is it's a cost-saving measure for either Intel or NVIDIA or both, where you have an internal GPU and then you have the onboard GPU, which is on the motherboard, and then you have an external GPU, well, whatever external means in a laptop, which is NVIDIA, but somehow they get multiplexed into the same thing. I don't even know. It's awful. So you have 2 choices in the BIOS. You have hybrid, which means you can use both the onboard or the onboard video and the NVIDIA video, or you have discrete, which is just the NVIDIA video. And if you choose discrete, you just can't use the onboard thing. It really should be the other way around. You know, you should be able to choose hybrid or just Intel. That would be great. I mean, that would work just fine. But because sometimes when you're on the road, you want to just disable the NVIDIA thing because it uses a lot of power. In any case, when it boots on this particular setup, and it's probably a problem with with Dells as well. You know, Dell XPS machines have the same Optimus crap. It just freezes. And what you have to do is you have to use this setting in there. I'll drag this window over here. This is what this is my little thing. You have to use this setting, Nouveau mode set equals 0 on the command line, on the grub command line, in order to get the CD to boot. So most people are just going to give up when they see that it freezes. You know, this is probably just a problem with Ubuntu in general. You know, I don't know. But it definitely happened with my Ubuntu MATE setup. And I knew about it because I remember it happening because I had Ubuntu 16.04 installed on here before, or Xubuntu 16.04. So I was able to get past that, but I can't imagine that most people are going to be that curious about it. So that's a problem. But, you know, that's the shame about it, is that everything else is so great. It's just that the actual installer just didn't work. Anyway, so I'm going to show you what I have here. I have, you know, this sort of these launchers, which I configured just the same way I did with that one. I got Firefox, Chrome, Banshee, which is a great little music program. It's not it didn't come standard with MATE. I think they want you to use Rhythmbox, or I'm not sure, but I always use Banshee. I don't even remember why I use Banshee now, but I've been using it for a long time, and I like it a lot. And then, of course, you know, the file manager, which is called Haja. Is that how you say that? Kaja. K-A-J-A. Or sorry, C-A-J-A. Kaja, probably. The MATE naming scheme is a little unforgiving. People say mate and Kaja, but in any case. So just a little bit about the hardware on this machine. Oh, I guess I should go through these things. So I have this one sort of fan speed and temperature thing. That's a sensors applet. You just add that to the bar and it works fine. I got pulse audio volume control, which I think is just another launcher. There's Banshee up there. I have the display set up so you can see all the displays I have. And I have private internet access. Yeah. Which is a VPN thing, which has this little icon. It's really great. It comes with a little installer that jams that thing in there and just works. It's fantastic when the machine boots. Skype. I barely use it, but it's there. I'm logged in, but I'm invisible. I have Steam. Is that Steam? Yeah, look at that. Steam. Yeah, I got some games on here, and they all work really well. It's just great. I mean, this thing has a beefy enough GPU when it's enabled to play games really well. This is just OBS for me recording this. This is really neat. This just came in. I installed Ubuntu MATE Beta 1, and it did not have this little indicator. At least it wasn't working when I installed it. But in a recent update to the NVIDIA 390 drivers, and I'm not sure if it's all Ubuntu, or it's got to be all Ubuntu, right? This couldn't possibly be a MATE thing, but maybe it is. I don't know. It lets you switch GPUs. Now, unfortunately, I can't do it now because I'd have to log out and log back in, and that would kill my OBS. But it doesn't actually work. It works, but it gives you the wrong instructions. When you click switch to Intel here, it tells you first of all, it doesn't give you any indication of what's happening. It takes like 30 seconds or something for it to actually finish what it's doing. Then it pops up a message. It doesn't give you any progress or anything. And then it says, in order to enable Intel, log out and log back in. Well, that doesn't work. You have to reboot. But okay, whatever. But it's really nice to just be able to do that. You could go into NVIDIA settings and do the same thing, and go to the Prime settings or use the command line to do that. But it's pretty cool. I imagine that I might have filed a bug about this. If I didn't file a bug, I will. That it should either have progress. Well, it should have progress, and it should do what it says it does, and hopefully it'll be fixed at some point. I should say that the road on this, I installed beta 1. I think I might have installed an earlier version on another partition on this machine, trying it out. I'm not sure whether it was before beta 1 or after beta 1, but X stopped working entirely. X just broke, which was hilarious, and it was because of some changes to the NVIDIA driver, which got fixed very, very quickly, and there was a workaround that you could do in the meantime. But it was a little rocky. But that's the way it goes when you're not when you're on an alpha release or beta release. But I filed those bugs, and they got fixed really quickly, like super quickly. Like it was pretty amazing in Launchpad. And I really should know more about this to be able to try to fix things myself, instead of just saying, "Hey man, it doesn't work anymore." But yeah, I didn't. So in any case, your Bluetooth, it works, and your network thing, battery. Am I on battery? Why am I on battery? Am I on battery? Huh? No, maybe not. No, maybe it's just charged. Weird. Okay. This is, the sort of just system menu. And then here we have, CPU usage, network usage, and stuff like that. I forget what this is called. System monitor applet. Cool. In any case, well, and then I got the weather thing. Let's see what this is called. Weather report. Awesome. 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, you Europeans. And then, of course, calendar, whatever. And these are my mounted drives down here. These are all external USB drives, or 2 are external USB drives, and 1 is a partition on an internal hard drive. This laptop is not it's not a MacBook Air. It's heavy as balls, and it has an internal 1 terabyte SSD, and I put another spinny hard drive in it. So you can imagine that it's not exactly it's not something you want to carry around with you on your campus. Put it that way. So let's see. Yeah, about this computer. Yeah. Okay. So we see that we're running kernel 4.15. This is the LTS release. We're about a week away from this becoming really LTS and non-beta, and presumably once that happens, I'll stay on. I won't have to make any changes, and it'll just be LTS. But I'm not entirely sure. But we can see, I have hyper-threading enabled, so it says there's 8 cores, but there's only 4. And we could see that what's running here: Skype, Pulse Audio, Mate System Monitor, blah, Mate Terminal. I guess must be a fork of GNOME 2 terminal. It must be. I got Emacs running. Of course, I don't. The shame of this thing is this is a super beefy computer, and I do very little with it. I mean, I'm a developer, so sometimes I have to run CPU intensive things, but most of the time I do run games, but most of the time when I'm not running games and not programming, I'm just web browsing and using an editor of some kind. So, this is at steady state. I guess we're using a bunch of cores because OBS is running, likely. And here are the file systems that we have thing. I don't know how the snap stuff actually is meant to work, but that's something else I gotta go look at, because it has, I guess, like Pulse Mixer is a snap, and Software Boutique is a snap, and the Welcome thing's a snap, and I don't know. I should know more about that. So I'll show you how just some programs look here. Let's see. I'll show Emacs. How's that? Now, I'm blind. I'm old. So these are huge, super huge fonts. But, man, it really looks great. This is the Ubuntu Mono font in Emacs. Man, it just looks great. It looks fantastic to me. Even on I mean, I'm sure that if I got a, new Mac, it would look just as good and probably better. But this stuff, I used to use Macs back in the day, and man, this looks so much better than the Mac I had. It's amazing. Just beautiful, And I really, if I was wasn't 100 years old, I'd probably be using some IDE or something, but I am 100 years old, so. I guess. Oh, and one other thing is I actually have this plugged into a ThinkPad Ultra dock, which for a while worked fine, except for the audio jack on the back of it didn't work. It's a 3.5-inch jack just for sound that you would be able to plug into some speakers or something. That would never work. But recently they made a change to the kernel, so it does work. So, I have a cord going from that to the speakers on a Dell monitor I have here, and it works great. I can hot swap it in and out. It's just fantastic. It really is. I mean, I'm enjoying it immensely. So in any case, this is just sort of what I do with this setup, this Mate setup. I encourage everybody to try it out. I think it's fantastic, and like I said, I give them some nominal amount of money every month through their Patreon thing, which I'll put down there. I've no connection with them whatsoever. It's not like I'm making any money or anything by asking other people to put money in. I just think it's a good project. So anyway, that's it. Thanks.